Hello everyone, it's Kay from Worcester Arts Workshop here with another project. This is called Magical Balancing Butterflies, so I hope you had fun with this one. So what materials do you need to make a magical balancing butterfly? Here's one here. This is like a mock-up one that I've done. It's not decorated yet, we're going to decorate ours. It's quite clever, isn't it? So I'm just going to pop him over here whilst I tell you what materials you're going to need for today. So you will need a pair of scissors. You will need either pens or paint, or you can do both. I'm going to demonstrate both today. So if you're going to use, so the pens are just there. If you're going to use the paint, then you will need a pot of water, a palette, and obviously your watercolour paints and some brushes. Those didn't want to stay in my hand then, did they? Okay, so they're there. You will also need, so you'll need some small coins, so some pennies or 5p's. You only need 2 of those, or 2 for each butterfly, so if you want to make a few more pennies will be needed. These bottle tops are quite useful, so I use those to draw around, and I'll show you that in a minute. A pencil and some tape, some sellotape. That's going to be useful for a couple of reasons later, which I'll show you too. So this is card, so rather than paper we're going to use just thin card today. It can be any colour, you don't have to have white. I happen to have white. What I'd like you to do is fold it in half. So we're just going to fold it in half. Now, as you probably know, butterflies are symmetrical, so they're the same on each side. So it means that we can fold this in half and we can draw what I think you call half a butterfly here, and then when we cut it out we'll open it out and we'll have a whole butterfly. Sometimes drawing butterflies can be quite difficult, so that's why I've thought that these lids might be quite handy. So the lids you can place, and if you imagine that's the wing of the butterfly, you can just draw these lids. So take them slightly away from the fold and just draw them one on top of the other. Just draw around them lightly. And you'll see how this works in a sec. One there, and then underneath the other one. Try and line up those edges actually there. So those draw around there. Okay, so just draw around there. And then what we're going to do, and I'm actually going to use a pen. I would say you use a pencil for this. I'm just using a pen because sometimes the pencil doesn't show up very well when I'm drawing with it. So then you're going to go around, and these are the butterfly wings, so you're going to go around this circle like that, and if you're feeling brave you can make a pattern. Then you're going to go in between circles like that, and then round the next circle like that. And I've left a little gap here because we need to put a butterfly body in. Don't worry if you haven't left a gap, but you need to put the butterfly body in. So that is just a little oval shape and a little butterfly tail there. So it's 2 little oval shapes on the end. So you can see how those lids have helped me to draw my butterfly shape out. So that's like a milk pot lid, and that's like a juice pot lid. So it doesn't matter if they're the same size. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut this out. So we're going to cut as carefully as we can around this. So cut around that, and whilst we're cutting, because we're cutting on the fold, so we don't open it out, we leave the fold there, and we're not going to cut along that fold. We're going to leave that uncut. We're just going to cut around these bits that we've drawn, and what you'll end up with is 2 shapes exactly the same here. So cut round as carefully as you can. Feel free to ask someone else to help you if you need to at this point, and do that as carefully as you can. You really need the butterfly's nose. So this bit at the top where you've got the slightly bigger wing, you really need that bit, so just be really careful when you're cutting that out. And we still need this card, so I'm just going to put that there. Now look at this, when I open this out, what a beautiful butterfly I've ended up with. Okay, it's fantastic. So we don't need both sides of this butterfly, so I'm going to completely turn over and use this side of my butterfly for this demonstration. Okay, so I think with this butterfly, I'm just going to use some felt tip pens to colour him in. So this is quite easy. I'm just going to grab these felt tip pens and just, so because butterflies are symmetrical, I quite like the idea of having a nice brown body. You might have a brown stripy body actually. So, and I'm going to just do this probably quite quickly, so you can spend a bit of time on this bit. I'm going to do this quite quickly. So it's got a nice brown body there. And then what other colours do I like on butterflies? Well, butterflies are quite often quite bright coloured, aren't they? So I like to have actually a bit of red in there. And then when I've done a red spiral there, I'm going to try and do a red spiral this side. And that's because butterflies are symmetrical, so they have the same patterns either side. and then I'm just going to do some little dashes around. So these patterns are entirely up to you. Just go a bit mad with your imagination here and just enjoy the pens that you've got and the colours that you can do. See what patterns you can come up with. So this is really fun. This is the lovely bit about doing these. It can be really decorative. You can make up shapes. I'm just going to make up this shape in here. It's a bit like a teardrop shape, I think. So just depending on what you feel happy with, make up whatever shapes you like. Colour in, dots, dashes. But whatever you do, try and match them so that they're the same on both sides. Try and get the symmetry, the balance on both sides of the butterfly. Okay, so that's our pen version. I am going to put the pen version to one side for a minute, and I'm going to do a painted version as well, just to show you, because some people obviously like painting, and I thought this would be a nice project in paint, but I did think also that this paint would take a little while to dry, so I wouldn't be able to show you the last part of the project if I just did it in paint. So I've got our pen version. So same again, big lid on top of the little lid, line up the edge of that little lid so it's the same distance away from the fold. Don't forget I'm on folded paper here. Draw your outline. Don't forget you've got a little, so you're going to draw around here, into there, and around the bottom one and into there. And don't forget you've got your little ovals top and bottom for a tail and a head for your butterfly. Okay, so soon get used to doing that. Cut those out, and this will mean I have my nice symmetrical balanced butterfly, because I've cut both of these bits out at the same time. I do like doing butterflies for this very reason. Okay, and then we're going to have a go with some paint. So you can paint the paint like you do, paint each side like that. Or another way, and I don't know if anyone's ever done this, is you can blot. So if you use plenty of paint on here, I'm going to put plenty of red paint, you can just do one side. So you can put plenty of blot on there. Let's have some blue in as well. Just paint it around. I don't know if anybody's done this, where you fold up the paper I used to love doing this, and you press it down really hard, really nice and firmly, and those colours that you've painted on the one side of the fold, or even if you paint on both sides, doesn't really matter, just it's wonderful because you just fold it back over and it blots out, and you get your symmetry, your balance again from your butterfly. So that's great fun to do. Okay, so now I've got my two butterflies, and actually that's not too wet. I'm quite impressed. I'm going to put this one aside because it is a bit wet, and I'm going to show you the next stage with the pen, when I drew with the pen. So what you need to do next for your balancing butterfly is actually tape on some coins. Now this is going to enable the butterfly to balance, and don't you always hate finding the end of the tape? So I'm just going to find the end of the tape. Would be a good thing to find before, wouldn't it, before I start the workshop. And you're going to need two bits of tape. So I'm going to cut out a long strip here. Cut that in half. So I've got two bits of tape there. I'm going to place, so when you've done this, these coins need to be not right on the edge of the top wing here, but just in from the edge, and try and get them so they're roughly in the same position on your butterfly. So if they're a bit in there, a bit in there, try and get that. Okay, and then you just place a piece of tape over the top. So you don't want them right on the edge. That's not going to work very easily. But you want them a bit in. And this is the underside of the butterfly, so no one's going to see that. Okay, and then what hopefully happens is that the butterfly will balance, and I'm not quite sure, I haven't tested this on a pencil. So it's going to balance. So I was thinking, yeah, that's nice, we can balance it on a pencil, but wouldn't it be nice if we had a little stand for it? So part of this project then is to make a little stand for it to balance on. And for this I was just going to use, so I just draw around your sellotape roll, and you'll end up with a circle. Now you only need to cut out one of these, even if you've got two butterflies, and I'll explain that to you in a sec. And this also, you can decorate this as well if you want to. So this can also have, because it's just plain paper, or it could be a different colour if you want to. I'm just going to cut this out. Nice circle there. I'm going to fold this in half. And then when I fold it in half, I'm going to cut down that line here. So then I've ended up with a semicircle. Effectively, I've got two, one for that one as well. And this I'm going to turn round into a cone. So I'm going to try, I can actually, if I fold it a bit there, just gives me a bit of a guide. And that'll fold round into a cone. And just a piece of tape there, really. Nothing too complicated. Just get a little piece of tape. So this you can decorate. You can decorate it when it's flat, which is probably going to be easier. Or you can decorate it once it's up. Anything you like. I mean, I might just put some stripes on mine going down, some brown stripes, just to give you a quick idea of what that will look like decorated. But you spend some time on it. You could do what you like. You could colour it in a nice green, like it's on a branch outside or a leaf outside or something. Anything you like really on there. And then this is your little stand. And then you've just got to balance a butterfly on it. It's just a really clever, lovely project. And I hope you enjoy having a go at it. Magical balancing butterflies. Balance them on there again. Oh, he's a bit fiddly now. And I kept my glass here just to show you how he balances on a glass as well. So he does balance on a glass as well, which I quite liked. So, hope you've enjoyed that project. Try and balance him again on here. There we go. Bye everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.